Well, good afternoon. Swisher Family Farm here, also known as Majestic Harvest Peach Picking Farm. Hey guys, how you doing? So today what I'm doing is I'm going to give you an inside look of my new tomato garden. That's all this is for, just tomatoes. As most of you know, have watched the videos, know that I am a tomato nut. So what we're gonna do is I got these trellis, I got the boards cut, the 1x1s cut and stuff. Now the 1x1s is because I'm down to the last minute, man. I gotta get this stuff done and I don't have time to be playing and building stuff right now. I got a house to build. So I got the beds done, I got them conditioned, I got the soil done, I got soil treated, I put down my fertilizer, all natural fertilizer. And this plot right here is a test run of my fertilizer mix. Now, if this mix works out, I'm going to put it on our channel and you guys could get some if you like to. But I want to try it first to see, make sure it works. And if it works, then we'll be good to go. So anyway, this is my tomato patch. And this is what I'm doing. These are all San Marzano tomatoes, but two. By accident, I planted 2 Romas. It doesn't matter. They're all going to be used for sauce either way. Sauce and salsa. So I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to show you real quick of what my garden looks like. My tomato garden. Now, like I said, this is strictly for tomatoes, nothing else. All right, so in here, I have exactly 6 beds. Each bed holds a total of 8 plants. So we got 8 plants in each bed. Let's go back to me again. So each bed holds 8 plants. And those 8 plants, there should be enough San Marzanos planted to get us enough sauce for 2 years. Now, yeah, that's a lot of tomato plants. But the thing you got to understand is that, making tomato sauce, you need a lot of tomatoes. And I'm hoping that these produce the tomatoes that they're supposed to. As long as I keep them fertilized and I take care of them and I make sure to keep checking for, the infamous hornworm. I'll be out here many a nights with a black light going through trying to find out where he's hiding. But most of the time I'm pretty good about catching them. A lot of times what I'll do is if I find out that I'm having a problem with the hornworms, I'll take some diatomaceous earth and I got a little squeeze air blower and I blow the diatomaceous earth on there and it keeps a lot of the bugs off. And you're not using harsh chemicals. There's no reason to use harsh chemicals on tomatoes. Another thing is, they're nitrogen-loving plants, so you got to make sure you give them a lot of nitrogen. So what I'll probably end up doing is I'll go back through this and but I will till up the soil a little. When I mean till them up means I'll just break up the top layer of soil a little and I'll mix that in real good. And that'll kind of give it some aerate it in a sense, somewhat in a sense, aerating it. And give it the time. Now, one of the big things I want you guys to remember is get rid of those suckers. Those suckers are bad. You don't need those suckers right now. It's too early in the season for those things. And they're popping out on mine like crazy. I mean, I must got about a 5-gallon bucket full of just suckers and leaves that touch the ground. You want to get rid of those. Amy came through here last week and she went through and she took all the suckers off and clipped all the leaves that were on the ground. And we've had some pretty bad storms, as most of you know. We've had tornadoes and oh boy, it's been a treat this past week. And now I'm back out here and the leaves are touching the ground, so I got to cut them off. I got to get rid of them because what's going to happen is you either get a fungus or you get some other pest that's going to come up and climb up that leaf and start eating your tomato plants or get into your tomatoes. You don't want that. So we gotta nip this in the butt now. Yeah, I mean, with all of that said and done, I'm gonna give you guys a quick look at how I'm doing these this year. Because like I said, this right here is basically an expensive test plot. If these don't do well here this year, then I'll try something next year here. Maybe I'll plant cabbages, maybe I'll plant cauliflower, maybe I'll plant all of it here. All the early winter crops. Maybe I'll plant zucchini and squash here. We'll see how that goes as the time comes. But this is solely going to be for my tomatoes. Am I going to reuse these beds? Yes, I'm going to reuse these beds to plant more tomatoes. Now, can you do that? You have a lot of people out there that say you can't, and a lot of people out there that say you can. You can, but you have to amend your soil every time. And you got to make sure that you put back into it what the plant's taken out of it. So good idea is to take one of these out, take a sample, have it tested, and see what you're missing. And then whatever you're missing, I just add that to all the beds, not just one, but all the beds, because you grew tomatoes in all the beds, so it's probably pretty close to about the same as what you're going to need. Another thing I do in fall is after tomatoes are done and I get them pulled and I get them cleaned, I throw some fresh bedding in there, and then I throw some straw over top. And don't buy your straw from a farmer. Don't buy your straw from, because you don't know what they're spraying on that stuff. And don't go to a horse barn and buy it from a horse barn, because you don't know, again, you don't know what they're spraying on that. You want something that's all natural. Now, what I've found to be is I will go to a big box store, Tractor Supply, and I will buy my straw from them. I'll tell you the reasons why. One, the seedlings are dead. They're gone. It's so dry, they're gone. So you don't have to worry about having problems with the seedlings. All right, the next thing is you don't have to worry about a chemical being used, because they're done. There's no more chemical in them. If they couldn't sell you the product without notifying that they use that chemical to treat it. Remember that. Can never sell anything unless they notify you, because you never know what you're going to do. What are you chickens doing? I got my chickens outside free ranging as usual, and they're happy chickens, happy chickens. And I got Faith here somewhere. I don't know where Faith went, but she's around here. Hey Faith, where you at, baby girl? She might be on the porch laying down because it's a little hot right now. Oh, here she is. There's the Faith right there. There's my girl. She can't come in here because it's all fenced in, but oh, Faith, see, you saw her. She can't come in here. She's not allowed. She knows better. Now, I used a fenced-in, very small square fenced-in deal. The fence that I bought is 4 foot tall, and I keep it enclosed. Now, you're probably saying, am I worried about deer? No, I'm not worried about deer. Not with my dog, no. Let me tell you, because she goes out periodically through the night, and she'll do a run the whole complex. And if something's out here, she will tell me right away. And then that's when we gotta go grab the unfortunate. But anyway, so yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I do it, and it's pretty basic and simple. I mean, to show you how to trellis a tomato, my way is not the way I really wanted to do, but it's my way to get me by for this short amount of time that I have to get this stuff ready. We got storms coming in tomorrow, and I want to be ready for that. So guys, let's get to work. All right, guys. So I got my 2 stakes. These are my 2 stakes I'm using right here. I lay them on my lap. Now I got some 1.5 inch screws, which are right here. And I got my bit. And what I'll do is every 12 inches, I'll put 1 screw. Let's get your angle down here so you can see. This is the action part. No, I'm not worried about screwing into my leg. I have control of the drill. It's not like it be AI. I have control of everything. She probably said, well, you got no marks. I'm guesstimating. I'm guesstimating it. You're probably thinking, well, how are you gonna make sure they match? I got you. I got you. Then what I do is I turn one over like this, and I leave one like this. And like I said, they were cut the same length, so I even them up here. And then I just take the screws and I put them in. Like I said, this isn't rocket scientist. Anybody can do this. I mean, really, anybody can do this. I'm not some special guy, you know, that I can do this and you can't type deal. No, 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 no. We all can do this. And you don't need to go in a lot. All right, so that first one is done. And that's what I do. All the way down. So what I'll do is I'll take this one, flip it upside down, line the top up, and then I just go in the same order, same row, same order. Do you ever wonder, there's just never enough time in the day to get everything done. I have so many things to do, and there's just never enough time in the day to get it done. You know, Amy works and she stays pretty busy, so she has her little chores she does. Okay, there you go. All right, so you're probably wondering what those are cut at. Well, they're cut at 4 foot. Each one of the posts is 4 foot. Now I've already staked them in, so I know where they go into the ground. And then what I do is I take a good screw and I screw it on the sides of the boxes, the raised beds. That way they have more structural support. These ones right here will be the only ones I have to use the whole year. My plants will probably average about 8 foot tall. And that will be enough to carry that 8 foot tall plant. It's pretty sturdy, let me tell you. It's sturdy as sturdy's going to get. Will I use them next year? Yeah, I'll leave everything up for next year and we'll see what happens. I might have to replace a few. I might not have to replace any. It just all depends on, you know, how well it goes during this summer. This will definitely stop them from falling over. Because that's the biggest thing. You just don't want them to fall. So you're building a situation where it'll hold the weight and stop the tomato plant from hitting the ground. And let me tell you, with the setup I got right now, they're not hitting the ground. And if they do, then I did something wrong. But I doubt it. So I'm going to do this next set, and then I'm going to take you over and show you guys how I trellis them with a tomato line. So I've got some tomato string that I got online, and I'm going to tie these up, and I'll show you how I do it. You do it the way you want to do it. I do it the way I want to do it. As long as they're supported, I guess it really doesn't matter. I mean, some people are doing the rundown where you drop the string down from the top. If you want to do it that way, do it that way. That's fine. I like the trellis this way better. I mean, by doing it this way, I know I got support on both sides, and I know it'll work. I don't have to worry. So let's get back and get this done. All right, guys. So you see where I ran the first line at the very bottom, all the way over to here. And then I tie it off. Tie it off right there. And then I'll go around, go all the way down the other side. I wrap it 6 times. I go up to the next one, wrap it 6 times, and I go across over to here. Then I go around to this one and then I wrap it 6 times and I go back over and I repeat until it's all done. Very simple, very easy, nothing hard about it. I try to keep everything as simple as possible. You know, with my back being the way it is, and I have a really hard time getting down on my knees and getting back up, which is not good, but it's part of getting old. Another thing I do is I make sure when I'm working in this bed that I pick all the suckers out of the tomato plants. I make sure the leaves are off the ground and make sure the soil, I'll put my finger in the soil, check, see if it's damp. Now, it's not damp right now, but I'm not going to water them because we have storms coming tomorrow, and we're supposed to get rain all the way up to Wednesday. So I think they'll get plenty of rain. I don't think I'm going to need to have to worry about that. Now, the biggest plus about this is that if it rains really, really good and the soil gets really, really saturated, I know you're worried, well, aren't you worried about your tomatoes being overwatered? Yeah, a little bit I am, but if what they predicted actually happens, we're going to have some really hot days. Well, when them hot days happen, tomatoes love humidity and heat. They are going to grow like crazy. Now, another question you might ask is, why did I plant them so close to the trees? Because you know there's a tree right over here. Well, that is so I don't have to shade cloth them. I don't have to put a shade cloth up because in the mornings they'll get a little bit of sun, then they'll get shade for about 2 hours, about 2 or 3 hours, and then they'll get full sun the rest of the day until it sets. So they're getting plenty of sunlight. So I'm going to finish up that other side over there, get that done, and I'll be back. So there's something I forgot to mention, all right? One of the reasons that I picked this test plot here is because this is where the old chicken coop used to be. Right here. And now they have done the soil so well, and there's probably so much nitrogen in here, and that it's gonna make the tomatoes flourish. I'm hoping. Now, I do want to state this though, that one of the reasons I picked this to be the test plot was because what I would do is any of the tomatoes that had a bad spot on them, or they cracked or something was wrong with them, I'd throw them in here. Well, last year, before we got rid of the chicken coop that was here, tomatoes in November were coming up like gangbusters. I had probably 80 tomato plants in here. So that tells you how good the soil was. So that is also another reason that I picked this test plot, because I figured soil's got enough nitrogen in it from the chicken poop. These things should grow like gangbusters. So, but I just wanted to give you that little bit of info that I left out and make sure to keep you guys up to date on everything I do here on the farm. All right, guys, so I got everything pruned up. Everything's done. We're good to go. Now it's just controlling the tomato plants to get them through there. And let's see what we can get. Let's see what our abundance is this year. I'm hoping a pretty good amount. But we'll see. We never know. Well, guys, at that point, I got to go in and start making dinner. And I just want to say God bless you all. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for stopping in and seeing us. And if you haven't subscribed, welcome anyway. Hey, everybody's welcome. It's like a family in here. So at that point, guys, I'll see you next time in the garden. Bye now.